Good afternoon, guys. I'm going to keep you busy today because the interesting stuff keeps coming out and it keeps hitting all the same stuff that we need to pay attention to. So this one kind of gets even more telling. Now, you've all heard the phrase, we've all used it many times, rules for thee and not for me, right? That the supposed elites are, they're exempt from any of the bullshit that they're putting us through, okay? We watched Nancy Pelosi get her hair done even amidst all the lockdowns. We watched Gavin Newsom go out and have a dinner party, even though restaurants weren't allowed to be open. It's just amazing that, the people that are making the decisions are violating themselves. And, it's one of those ask for forgiveness, not for permission, right? Because, it was in the news for a day or two about Pelosi and her hairdresser, about Newsom and his dinner party, and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. And everything's supposed to go away, right? The news media stops following it, says, oh, we accept his apology. It was just a mistake. And that's good. Of course, when you and I make a mistake, it's like, okay, where the nice little silver bracelets that we get, or the fine or whatever we get, or putting companies out of business. I told you about that whole story about the business owner in Maryland that they kept shutting him down. He was recording it all and posting it here on YouTube. He couldn't do anything, but, God knows that the politicians could. So this one came out this morning. Okay, and I'm getting to it now here. Now, this is in Great Britain, but as we all know, especially here in the States or in Australia or whatever it is or anywhere else, we kind of watch what's going on in Europe because they're already, years further into socialism than we are. And, so as Europe goes, the United States seems to follow closely behind, all right? Kind of like I said in the video the other day after watching Constantine's stuff, the Russian government figured out a way around making the jab mandatory, and I'm pretty certain that's going to wind up coming here too. So we'll see what happens with that. But this one is classic, all right? John Whitendale, okay, Parliament, UK, was talking about all the restrictions that are put on Great Britain right now for who can come into the country, quarantines, all this sort of stuff, all right? He has decided, or he has basically come out and said that important people shouldn't have to follow the same COVID-19 quarantine rules as the rest of the population, okay? Now, who does he define as important people? Well, you have the Euro 2020 soccer finals in Great Britain, okay? So soccer players, football players for all those of you who are not in the U.S., and the officials, they're deemed important people. And so they don't have to worry about the restrictions, the quarantines, anything of the sort like that. Politicians, no. Okay. Now, you have your ordinary British citizen who can't go on vacation, or if they do go to a lot of places at least, and if they do manage to go somewhere, they have to quarantine when they get back. Okay. But British Parliament has changed the rules to allow these VIPs with their Euro 2020 invite to avoid having to self-isolate or quarantine when they arrive in the country. Now, what's the difference between, I don't follow soccer, so I can't tell you any players' names, but some player coming in who's going to go out to the pub and have a couple of pints with his friends or whatever. He's going to go eat somewhere or whatever, and then he's going to go play a soccer game. All right. I hate to tell you this, guys, but soccer players in Europe are just as important as football players or baseball players in the United States, meaning they aren't at all. Okay. They have no effect on our day-to-day lives whatsoever. They are strictly entertainers. That is it, okay? If there was never another soccer game played in the world would not stop, okay? These people are hardly, they are about the least important people that you could possibly imagine. I will take farmers, shop owners, whatever. Those are important people because we do need goods and services and food and things like that. Those people are important. We don't need soccer, all right? But Whitendale has said that these are the important people. Of course, he's an important person too, all right? So, we come into this situation where he was being interviewed, okay? And his comment was, we've always said that for some people who are important, players, for instance, and the host snapped back, okay? I'll give her credit for it. And her quote was, so people who want to go on holiday are not important? Is that what you're saying? And then he comes back and says, well, we're only lifting the restrictions for a certain number of people. Well, yeah, all the players, all the coaches, all the trainers, all the referees and everything like that. Who cares? I mean, I understand it, at least it used to be, okay? There was some civic pride, city pride in your city of, your team, be it whatever sport, football, basketball, baseball, soccer, hockey, tiddlywinks, whatever it would be, won. It was like, woohoo, we're the champions, everything like that. Like I said, I lived up in Boston for a while, and in the 4 years I was there, they won. The Patriots, the Bruins, the Celtics, and the Red Sox all won their respective titles. And, the city was very proud. But, I still look at it this way and go, okay, yeah, they wore a shirt in my example that said Boston on the front. How many of those guys were from Boston? Zero. Okay. They represent the city, but they're not, they put on the uniform and then they go home to the Dominican Republic or to, California or whatever it is, I mean, that's their home. I mean, they've got a temporary residence in the city. They don't represent the city. The uniform does, but that's about it. Okay. It's, I'll go use the military thing. It's not like we're getting a whole bunch of people from Ghana coming over here, putting on the U.S. Army uniform and saying, okay, I represent the United States. No, you don't. Okay. The uniform does, but you don't. But this is what I'm saying. This is what's coming. Okay, rules for thee and not for me. If a politician can decide a football/soccer player is important, where is this coming? I mean, are you important? Am I important? I'm sorry, Mr. Jones. No, you can't go to the grocery store. You're not an important person. Really? That's where this is leading, guys. This is why I keep saying, get yourself as self-sufficient as possible. What happens if you can't ever leave your property again? Because it's coming. I promise you, it's coming. If you're not in the in crowd, which we all know the in crowd is certainly going to be defined of as jabbed, liberal, okay? Those are going to be two, of which I obviously do not fall into either one. I'm certainly not going to be in the in crowd, okay? So when that comes, I may get restricted to exactly where I am, which is fine. I can deal with that. Not everybody can, okay? I'm blessed from where I live. If I lived in the 18th floor in an apartment in New York City, not so blessed, okay? But this is what's coming, guys. And like I said this morning, they're pushing us closer and closer and closer. And eventually it's going to pop. And I said this at the beginning of the year, and I'm going to say it again. Eventually they're going to push somebody too far, and something's going to break out, and that's going to lead to all hell breaking loose. Because as soon as you get, it's going to be a snowball effect, okay? You're going to have some groups stand up, and more people are going to jump on the bandwagon, and then, then you're going to be hiding in your house, locked and loaded. So Just be aware. Rules for thee and not for me. We're seeing more of it, and now they're coming out and openly saying it, not apologizing for it. They're openly saying this is going to be their policy. So don't know how the hell they think they have the authority to make these decisions, but hey, maybe that goes back to like Canada, where it says, you know what, we're not going to have any more elections. We're just going to stay in charge. Start putting all the pieces together, guys. They're trying for global socialism, global communism real fast. Have a good one. Once again, Pinball out.